let's get to this. You've been hearing a lot about European tariffs. These are retaliatory tariffs they slapped on everything from American jeans to motorcycles to, yes, that glass of scotch. The European Union slapped a 25% retaliatory tariff on American whiskeys such as bourbon and rye after President Trump fired the first shot when he laid down steel and aluminum tariffs for all foreign steel, including that from the European Union. Well, one small U.S. business owner based in Virginia is feeling the pain of what's being decided just a few miles away in the nation's capital. Catoctin Creek's founder spent $100,000. That's a lot for any business, a lot for a small business, to develop his spirits company in Europe because, are you ready for this? A full quarter of his revenues come from thirsty Europeans who have developed a taste for Catoctin. But now he says he's got to hike prices, which could wound his business. Already, Catoctin Creek's award-winning Brownstone Rye has jumped in Europe from $52 a bottle to now $65 in Europe. Now, we converted it from euros, but that's what they're now paying so that you can understand the jump here. So they're paying more for our American whiskey. Scott Harris is Catoctin Creek's co-founder and general manager. Scott, give us the story. I'm feeling anxious just reading this because I know that higher prices sometimes are the cure for what you had loved, which was bigger sales in Europe. Are you already seeing any change in sales in Europe?
Not yet. It's still pretty early. They've only really been in effect for about a week now. But the higher prices, of course, are tariffs, which are basically taxes in Europe. So we're not receiving any of that money. That's basically just making our products more price non-competitive with other products that are already in Europe.
So they liked your product. How did they even find you, Catoctin? I mean, it seems like a small label here, a craft kind of spirit. Am I correct? And
yeah,
what did
absolutely.
you do? You said you invested $100,000 just to get up and running in Europe, and now you may lose those buyers.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've invested a few million in the company to grow to the point where we are today, about 9 years into this business. And about 5 years ago, we started working and investing in Europe. And so that $100,000 that we've put into Europe is in the form of getting new labeling to be compliant with European standards and doing consultants and going to trade shows and travel costs and all those kinds of things to meet with and make distributors over there.
You know, we usually don't care which side of the aisle people vote on, but it is significant that you're a self-described Republican. How do you feel if you had the president's ear? What would you say to him? Because you loved his tax cuts for corporations and small businesses, right?
Yeah, actually, we were having meetings about this yesterday with some people in his administration, and the important point that we wanted to make was that the impact of these tariffs is actually going to wipe out all the benefit that we got from the tax cuts for our particular business. And so that's really disappointing for us. And I think it was an unintended consequence of, that our businesses, whiskey makers in America, were being targeted in this way. Here I'm representing a small business, but we're also talking about Jack Daniels, Jim Beam. I mean, the big guys are taking it on the chin as well. Yeah,
I worry a little bit less about them. They can absorb some of this, although everybody feels the pain. But that's a headline, that these retaliatory tariffs are going to wipe out all the benefits that you got from the tax cut for corporations and businesses. What did the people with whom you were speaking at the administration say when you told them that?
They were very sympathetic. They were listening, and I think right now we're trying to get, we as the country are hopefully trying to get all the people to the table so we can hash out these deals and get done with it. We just like these things to end right now.
I don't know if that's going to happen. The president is digging in his heels, and I do have to say, on one hand, if he is have the courage of his conviction, which I believe he does, he really feels very strongly about this. You guys gotta take the good with the bad, though, in a way. You get the tax cut, and then he feels strongly about this. Nobody gets everything that they want in this world, right? I mean, do you see it that way?
We understand. We understand that. I mean, every business is about managing uncertainty, right? And so what we'll do is we will tread water on this in Europe and see how we affect our European business over there. And in the meantime, we'll look for markets here in the U.S. that we continue to push hard on.
Are you going to stop hiring? What plans did you make after the tax cut benefits that you now have to change?
Well, Europe was going to be a big growth area for us in the next, say, 2 to 3 year time frame. And so we will have to see how that unfolds. If this lasts over a year or something like that, we'll probably have to pull back there and then refocus those efforts over here in the U.S.
Hiring, though? No more jobs, or you'll hold off on that?
For now, I think we probably would say, we don't use words like hiring freeze, but for now I think we'd probably hold off on hiring anybody else. We have enough people doing production that we have right now.
Scott, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll revisit this, because I think this is a good example of how small businesses are dealing with what is a bit of a change here. Certainly.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck. Thanks so much.
Thank you.